Here I am on this Tennessee Saturday night. Prograis versus Devin Haney tonight. I'm actually watching a Prograis fight right now when he fought Josh Taylor. I wanted to see, I watch guys in their difficult moments to see how they adapt and what exactly they do and why they got beat. I haven't seen Haney lose it. Well, I thought he lost to Lomachenko, even though it was close. It was a close fight. I don't know if it could have gone either way because some of the bigger rounds, Loma won. You know what I mean? Loma won without argument more rounds than Haney did. Like the close rounds were close, but if you give all the close rounds to Haney, sure he's going to win. Anyway, that fight's over. We're moving on to this. And I'm seeing a few spots where a southpaw, especially a southpaw that can punch, Prograis can't punch, he give Haney some trouble. Haney seems like a safety-first fighter to me. I mean, I haven't seen him really try to get guys out of there and become that monster, or show that killer instinct when he's beating a guy, when he's ahead, and he's obviously a better boxer. He doesn't have that next gear to get him out of there, in my opinion. Now, I mean, sure, he's knocked guys out, but at the top level, it's a different ballgame. So we'll see. I think it's a close fight. I mean, I'm sticking with what I thought before. I got last week wrong on the Andre Benavidez card, but I think this is another close fight. I think this one's close, and hey, sometimes I get them wrong, like I said, but I think it's a close bout. I think that they're probably going to give it to Haney. That's the thing that people got to realize is in boxing, there's an administration above it all that has their favorites, and they want certain fighters to win for several reasons. For money, number one. Okay, if your guy is going to make more money down the road, you want to keep him on the winning streak and keep him undefeated so that you can promote that and sell more tickets to the box office and, ultimately make more money. Another reason that these administrators, as I said, these managers, these matchmakers, and these promoters and guys who or advisors, they all have different names. They have so many names for these guys, it's nuts. But ultimately they do the same thing. They basically control the fighters, and the fight game is what's really going on, because they control the commissions, they control the judges who work for the commissions, the referees who work for the commissions, and all that. So, I say all that to say this is the administration of boxing, which is an unofficial term, but they really do exist, are the people that you'll never see. You'll never see their face. The Al Haymans, you'll see the Don Kings, you'll see the Bob Arums, but nowadays they have so many guys behind the scenes that you don't even realize what's going on. They want these guys to win for money, like I said, and control. If they can't control a fighter, they will hope that he loses. Okay, or they'll put it together to make the guy, to make the guy lose. One example, in my opinion, my humble opinion, was James Toney. James Toney was a guy who. Boxing couldn't control James Toney. James Toney, he was crazy, but he was a very bold and strong guy. He wasn't going to do things anybody else's way. Jackie Callan brought him there, but when it didn't work out, James went a different route, and he wasn't afraid to go a different route. He wasn't afraid to switch trainers, switch advisors, switch managers, just get rid of people that pissed him off or, didn't do things the way he wanted them done. The guys at the top don't like that. They don't like guys that stand on their own. So when James Toney fought John Ruiz, he beat him. They couldn't take the win from him. It would be a hard... See, robbing a guy on on pay-per-view television is a hard thing to do. When you do it, you got to realize you're going to lose fans and you're going to make your fan base mad and not want to buy your, you know what I mean? You're going to lose money. You're going to lose everything. So you can't keep robbing people. You can't just rob people because you feel like it. Close fight, you could, but that fight wasn't close. So James beat John Ruiz easy, won the heavyweight title, but what happens after that? He comes up dirty on a steroid test. Happens all the time, okay? I mean, I'm not saying that everybody uses steroids, but a lot of people do, and these names that do use and come up dirty on tests, 90+% of those tests end up in the trash and you never even hear about them. Okay? Because the integrity of the sport, the perception of integrity of the sport, and the display of that to the public is too important, so they don't want these tests coming out. Okay? Mayweather came up dirty 3 times. From what we know. Oscar De La Hoya, nobody knows how many times the guy came up dirty. Mosley, dirty. Roy Jones, dirty. James Toney, dirty. All these, I mean, people are using stuff. They are using things to enhance their career. It just is what it is. So there's no way around it. I'm not saying you have to use it, but it does help. I mean, at the top of the game, man, people are getting stuff that sometimes they don't even know about. Some of these fighters get Canelo came up dirty. And there's another name. I mean, everybody's using something to enhance their performance. So, but then we get into the whole debate of what is performance enhancing. Is protein performance enhancing? Yeah, it will. I mean, if you eat right and you train good, that will enhance your performance. So there's not really a strict definition, and then they have waivers for certain uses. It's just it's a crazy game. In my opinion, I mean, I'd like a clean sport. I'd like to see it clean. I'd like to see people be able to get to the top without using anything. And I think that if you're dirty, you should be thrown out. I'm with that. But I see the other side of the fence too, to where it says, okay, why don't we just let everybody use whatever they want and go see who's the best. No limitations. Well, this is a brutal sport. Boxing's a brutal sport, and people get hurt. Once people's livelihoods are involved, I don't think that we need to incentivize the already lethal weapons that are, being let loose here. So that's my opinion, but my opinion doesn't mean anything. What matters is the facts, and the facts are that the administration of boxing, and the bottom line I'm trying to get to, this wasn't supposed to be a steroid video. This is an update on the Devin Haney fight tonight, but if it's a close fight, they're going to give it to Haney. I'm telling you now, because the administration of boxing, the people who are running the sport, that none of us know who they are, they never show their face. And they're well involved with the networks. The HBO is not involved anymore, but DAZN. Now DAZN's the top pay-per-view network, or whatever they call themselves. These people want certain people to win, so that the next one, you're not fighting tonight for tonight, you're fighting for the next one. Always remember that, okay? What you do tonight is going to determine what you get next time. How big it is, how much money you make, who you fight, all that's on the line. That's what's really on the line here. Is your next big fight. So I do think this kid Prograis can give Haney some trouble, and he could catch him. He could catch him with something, put him down, and hurt him. I don't think he'll stop him if he does. If he does put him down, he probably won't finish him, because Haney's a strong kid. He knows how to survive. He's very he's a veteran of the sport. He knows how to survive when he gets hurt. And he'll probably be able to endure whatever comes. And outbox. I think Haney wins some rounds, because Haney is good. He's good. He controls the range well. And he sets a pace for the fight that is just right for him, which is what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying he's an aggressive fighter. I'm not saying that he's a knockout specialist, because he's not. And I think he's a good fighter. I'm not gonna say he's a great fighter. I think he can be beat. I think he can be picked apart. And I think he gets in trouble if he gets in there with a Shakur Stevenson or a Tank Davis. I don't know how much trouble. We'll have to see. But it'll probably be a close fight tonight. He's going up to 140. So, it's going to be a new weight class. But, it's only 5 pounds. But 5 pounds is 5 pounds. So it will be a slight adjustment. And we'll see what happens. But I think it's a close fight. I think it'll be close scoring, by the viewers, but the judges look for him to give close rounds to Haney. That's just, that's just the way that it seems to be going. And, he's the undefeated guy, and they'd like to protect O's. This sport of boxing likes to keep undefeated fighters undefeated if they can, because at the end of the day, we're selling you this image of immortality. That's what makes the money come in. That's what makes the events big. That's what puts fans in the seats. That's what gets people to click the pay-per-view buy. All that comes into effect. And that O at the end of your record, psychologically, to me included, everybody. I mean, as humans, we know all these guys are beatable. Anybody's beatable. Nobody's above the general rule that, you can lose. But that gives us the perception, and something in our brain goes off, and we think, maybe he can't be beat. But there's no reality to it. We saw it with so many fighters in history. Mike Tyson, you're selling that immortal image. And then when he loses, we make an excuse like, he didn't train or this and that. And, So you can say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, there's no excuse. You get in the ring, you fight, you win or you lose, and you go home. And you got to deal with what comes of it and go on to do the best you can with your next time out and every time out. Put yourself in the best position you can to make as much as you can for the short career that everybody has, because these are not long careers. Boxing is a brutal game. It's unforgiving. And you got to get in there and do what you can while you're young, while you're fresh, and while you got the energy, and while your name's on top. So whatever these guys got to do, they got to do it now, because it doesn't last long. As soon as you lose, generally, not always, but there becomes a downhill slope, and things just go down, 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 and you become an opponent, a second-rate fighter. So I say all that to say, like I said, Devin Haney, undefeated. They're trying to protect it to a degree. So for Prograis to win, he's going to have to wipe the floor with him, and I don't think he can do it. So that's my take. I think it's a close bout. Whoever you give it to, you give it to, but I think the cards will go Haney's way, in my opinion, unless Prograis catches him, puts him down, hurts him. Because like I said, even though you got an undefeated guy, it's not worth losing fans by highway robbery and stealing it from somebody, because that just makes fans all the more upset and makes them want to watch MMA, which a lot of people have already crossed over and said, I'm done with boxing. I would rather watch MMA. It's, there's a lot more dynamics to it. There's more risk taking. There's better decisions. So, regardless of what you think of Dana White, and I don't think a lot of him, I'll be honest, but he has put up a sport that we can all come and say, okay, this is a good show. This is a good card, because the fights are real competitive, and win, lose, or draw, they usually get it right. They usually give it to the guy who deserved to win. So there's a lot to be said for that, and that makes people want to tune in more, especially when you've seen so much corruption in a sport like boxing. But anyway, we'll see what happens tonight. I've talked long enough. Let's watch the bouts and enjoy. Thanks again. God bless and Godspeed.